back. Jason Gardner reveals his new look in just a second, but first his competition.
Now, over the last few weeks, there has been some speculation, mostly by me, about what's been going on under Jason Gardner's hat.
Well, yesterday, Jason finally revealed that he had had a hair transplant, but it was only 4 years ago, on our very sofa, that after a previously unsuccessful hair transplant, Jason admitted to losing his hair.
I did a year of very intensive laser treatment before I went for the replacement, but you know what, for the record, it didn't work. I reversed this process last Tuesday. Right, here we go. Ta-da. This is almost being petty. You know, I have to learn to embrace this and surrender to it because it is a fact of life.
Well, Jason joins us now, along with Dr. Craig Ziering, who carried out the hair transplant, and you were surprisingly nervous about this interview.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Because I have lived under one of these every single day for 8 months.
Yeah.
And it's become kind of like a security, and now, I mean, I'm thrilled with everything, but you know, it's nerve-wracking.
Can you have a look? So just have a look.
Look at, I mean, it is remarkable.
It's remarkable.
And this treatment, I mean, this isn't like the hair transplant that you had before, because the one you had before was like, it was...
Well, actually, let's get the terminology right. It was a replacement.
Right.
So what it was basically somebody else's hair that they fashion onto this sort of filament that then is...
Gosh, I mean, the difference is ridiculous, isn't it?
And then it's stuck to your head. I mean, it sounds barbaric.
And you had an adverse reaction to it.
Oh, it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I rejected it. You know, I had a lot of problems. I was in a lot of intensive pain, pus, all this kind of... I mean, it was really unpleasant.
So, Craig, what have you done? Because you were the guy that's done this.
Right.
What have you done? How does it work?
Well, the big difference is the other thing was an artificial situation. This is Jason's own hair. So it's a procedure where you act as the donor and the recipient for the procedure. And we actually take the hair from the back of the head and remove it in a strip. We design the hairline and what we're going to construct for him. We evaluate the donor hair to make sure that the patient is a candidate, because it's not for everyone. But Jason was a challenging case, but he had the appropriate donor. His hair was really nice.
And this procedure here is...
Oh gosh, I'm not going to watch it.
Right. You remove the strip of tissue, and then what you do is you cut those under a microscope into the individual follicular units, 1 and 2 and 3 hairs. So that's why the transplant looks so natural now. It's not the old plugs of yesteryear.
So this grows?
Absolutely. It's your own hair. It's an organ transplant. You're moving, in Jason's case, 3,501 individual hair follicles from the back of the head in one strip, and you're able to spread it out, and if you can do it artistically in the proper way, to give the illusion of a lot more hair.
So this is why it's taken, you've been hiding under the hat, because this has been growing. Your own hair has been growing.
Exactly.
As it would do normally.
That's right.
So what I want to ask you, with the operation there, I mean, you were awake.
Yeah.
When this is going on. So you're a local anaesthetic.
Yes.
And you said you were sitting there watching a movie.
I was watching films, I was talking to the staff, we even stopped for lunch.
Yeah.
You were texting.
I was texting as well, and I was taking photos.
And that there, where you can see that scar, that is where the hair was taken.
That's the back, the strip, and we don't normally shave the head to do that. Jason already had the short hair. But if someone comes in, for example, with your length hair, you just comb that hair up, you remove the strip, you sew it together just like you'd remove a mole, and you don't see anything. The hair comes back down over it.
You also do it age appropriate, which is, I mean, it would, as you get older, you look more and more ridiculous if you've got a great full head of hair, don't you? Because it's just not natural.
No, it's not. And that's why, that's what's brilliant with Dr. Ziering, is that he does trichosculpturing, which is, he absolutely gets your hair right for your age.
Yeah. And what I was going to ask you was, when we showed you the footage of you,
well,
there's another picture, because when you saw the footage of when you took your hat off earlier, and you actually welled up, you got quite emotional. And what is that emotion? Where does that come from?
I guess that comes from the fact that I can remember back to that time and how much of a struggle it was, you know, going through that. It was very, very difficult time.
Well, there are some people who lose their hair and are not bothered by it, and there are some people who lose their hair and are bothered by it, and it really troubled you.
It did, yeah. And I mean, you know, I tried to embrace it. I tried to live with being bald and everything. And the ironic thing was that coming back here and doing all the fashion stuff, doing makeovers, that really highlighted for me that I was never going to be able to change this look. You know, I was forever bald. And I started getting suffocated by that. And I know that sounds crazy. And sometimes I do think, my God, I can't believe that I allowed it to affect me so much. But then looking and researching and seeing that the technology has improved so much.
Well, it's expensive as well, isn't it? I mean, it was more expensive for you because you wanted Craig to do it himself.
Yes.
Not quite as expensive as quoted.
Has been reported.
It was in dollars, the $35,000. But it is important that people know that it is affordable today, and it can be done from £3,500 to in excess of £10,000. It just depends on the surgeon and the number of grafts that people get. But the important thing is because of Jason and being willing to share the story, there are 13 million men and women in the UK that suffer from hair loss.
Yes.
And now they know there's something you can do about it.
Well, this is the point, isn't it, as well, is that a lot of men would be embarrassed about doing something like that. They'd see it as almost something that, you know, girls go and have their hair done all the time, but men are supposed to be masculine and they barely put moisturiser on, let alone go and have a hair transplant. So I guess what you're doing by speaking openly about it is going, do you know what, this is actually okay?
Well, the thing is, I mean, I took the view that when I went for this anyway, that I'm going to go from bald to having hair. So I was always prepared to talk about it. You know, I mean, how can I not?
Not, yeah.
And I did realise that actually there are a lot of men and women that are suffering from the same, you know, feelings that I was going through of anxiety and all those kind of things.
So he won't lose this again. That's there.
No, that's the interesting thing. The hair is taken from here, so it's the permanent hair. It's not programmed to genetically be lost.
And you're going to walk out the studio today hatless and happy.
Get rid.
Bye.
Thank you, Jason. Yay!
Craig, thank you.
Thank you. It takes a brave man to do that.
Yeah,
it does.
Absolutely. Well, if you want more information or details of helplines, then go to our website, itv.com/thismorning, and we're back discussing sex headlines after the news.